Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first video, hi, I'm Alaina, and this is The Organized Money, where we talk about planning life and managing money. Now, if you've seen the title of this video, then you already know that it's going to be a painful one for me. We have to start our short-term savings account completely over, and I am truly sad about it. Just to give you a little background on the way that our finances are set up, we have two savings accounts. We have our long-term savings account and our short-term savings account. Our long-term savings account is set up for all of our really big emergencies. These are things like losing your job and may need to cover the bills, or any type of really big medical emergencies. So that account has 3 months of expenses set aside, and that money is still sitting aside in a money market account. However, we also have a short-term savings account. Our short-term savings account is set aside for all of our sinking funds and for any repairs that we may need to do. This account had $8,000 in it about a month ago, and after some major repairs that we had to do to our home, it is now $180. So as you probably know, this was very painful to see an account go from $8,000 down to $180 in only a couple of weeks. So we will need to rebuild this account, and I decided to just start recording and talk you through the process of what we are planning on doing in order to rebuild. So let's go through the process of the things that I am doing in order to start this process of rebuilding. The first thing that I am doing is acknowledging my feelings. If you've ever been in a place where you've built up a nice nest egg where it took you years to build up a certain amount of money and then had to spend it really quickly, it is pretty painful. And the first thing that you need to do is the first thing that I had to do was acknowledge my feelings and manage my emotions. Even though this is what the money was for, even though I had set aside this money for repairs for our home or for anything that could possibly come up, having to actually spend that money so quickly and to spend so much of it was something that truly hurt my feelings. Now, I have had to use that account in the past. However, I've always had to use only $1,000 or $2,000. I've never had to use so much of it at one time. So processing those feelings and acknowledging my pain around that particular process was something that I just needed to do. I gave myself 2 days to just be upset. And I really think that these feelings came on because it took us a nice amount of time, about 2 to 3 years, to build up this account the way that we needed it to be. And to see that money gone so quickly did make me feel like maybe I wasn't going to be able to do it again. And I gave myself permission to be upset. I said, okay, now it's time to start the rebuilding process. After I gave myself 2 days to manage my emotions, then I just decided to change my mindset. I really wanted to focus on the fact that if I had done it before, if I had saved this amount of money before, then I can definitely do it again. That even though I was upset about the money that I had to spend, at least we had it to spend it. The repairs needed to happen, so thank God that we had it, and now we can actually just focus on the rebuilding process. The next thing that we needed to do was to reestablish the saving habit. So once we hit $5,000 in our short-term savings account, then saving wasn't really a top priority for me in those particular areas. I had 3 months in my long-term savings account. I had $5,000 in my short-term savings account. So now I was getting really relaxed on everything else that I needed to do and just really keeping up with my overall budget. Well, now I'm going to change that and reestablish my saving habit. Reestablishing the habit looks like basically seeing how much I need to set aside every single time that we get paid. Since we already had our long-term savings account and a short-term savings account, our short-term savings account already had $5,000 in it. I wasn't really aggressively saving, but now I will need to start aggressively saving again. So this means I will be stopping all extra debt payments until I reestablish our short-term savings account. I will also be saving anytime we make any extra money. So I normally use a short-term saving tracker in order to help me to stay on top of how much we're saving on a daily basis. Like I said, the account went all the way down to $180. So now I need to start making small amounts like I did before, saving all the extra money that I can. Since that hit at the beginning of the month, anytime I have gotten paid, I will look at my budget and see how much I can save. Anytime I am saving any extra money, it could be $50, it could be $70. I'm keeping track of that on my savings tracker. My savings tracker is my way to stay motivated. Anytime I see that number going up, it really does help me. I love being able to add the amount that I have deposited into my bank account. It does not matter how much it is. It really just does excite me. So now we're currently at $350 in this account, and I know that that's not a lot, but starting at $180 up to $350 in a couple of weeks, I am applauding every single dollar that we have in this account. And I do believe that that is a big part of your journey. Applaud yourself for every single dollar. Anything that you're able to do, anything that you're able to save, any way that you're able to cut back. Being able to applaud yourself on your journey is a great way to get over that mindset of feeling defeated, like you just can't do it. So it's better to stay encouraged throughout your journey. And my tracker is one of the best ways that I will do that. So after I have acknowledged my feelings, after I have reestablished my saving habit, and after I have started my saving tracker and added every single dollar that I have saved on it, the next thing that I will do is look for ways to increase my savings. Now this will usually come down to looking at how I saved it in the first place. Many times when we start our saving journey, we overestimate how much we can actually save in a month. So we will usually restrict ourselves too much, and then it will have a negative effect on our savings. So what I have decided to do instead is look at the ways that we saved it in the first place. Look at the small things that I did in the past that helped me to get to the place where I was. So we're planning to start small. I'm going to start with the small amounts that I have been starting with now, $50 here, $70 there, and then I am looking for ways to help myself increase the amount that I am adding into my savings. A couple of things that we did in the past that really did help us was anytime we received any type of influx, any type of extra pay, we automatically put that into our savings account. And for us, that looks like tithing 10% and then saving all of the rest of the money. And extra money for us could be any money that we didn't expect. So this could be a bonus, this could be a gift, this could be a tax return, basically anything that we didn't know we were going to get, no matter how small it is, we will tithe 10% and then deposit the rest of it into our savings account. The other thing that we will do is cut back on miscellaneous spending as much as we possibly can. Now, I don't get drastic here because we're a family of 4. We do like to enjoy our life, and I am not one of those super frugal people. However, I will cut back on Amazon or any other miscellaneous things that we are doing. So instead of eating out 3 times a week, we might eat out once instead. But just looking for ways where we can kind of cut back, but not really deprive ourselves too much, because it can have a negative effect on our overall mindset, hurt our money in the long run, especially if you're one to do impulsive purchases. And of course, I am going to take you along on this journey. Every single time something like this happens to us, I always just decide to share and talk about it, because I know that I am not the only one who has had a large saving and then had some circumstance come up that has completely depleted your savings. Because the truth is this is a short-term setback. So if you allow it to come in and really discourage you, then you could really hurt your long-term plans for your goals. So I allow myself to have a few days to process and to be upset, and then I pull myself together and say, all right, how are we going to start this process again? How am I going to start rebuilding again? How am I going to start saving again and setting aside small amounts again? Because our savings account is needed for those tough times, and tough times will come around again. And when it does come around again, I want to make sure that I have something set aside and I am able to cover it. Now, of course, this is not going to happen overnight, and if we do have any major emergencies during the time where we are rebuilding, we do have our long-term emergency account. However, that is a last resort. I am looking to rebuild this as quickly as possible, and if my calculations are right, I am hoping to have at least half of this back within the next 6 months. But like I said, I am going to take you along on this journey. And if you have just depleted your savings, if that's why you clicked on this video, then I hope that this video will encourage you. I am super grateful that we had the money to cover the expense, and now it's just time to rebuild. If you've ever been through this process, please let me know in the comments below. How did you deal with it? If there are any extra tips that you can share, please do so in the comments below. I love to hear from you, and I will see you in my next video. Until then, keep organizing your life so that you can achieve your dreams. Bye, guys.